I've got some kind of heady stuff to talk about for this video. So, of course, being fascinated with all things esoteric and mysterious and phenomenon related, I had been watching this YouTube channel that I found about near-death experiences, or actually actual death experiences, and this guy also interviewed other people on like their supernatural experiences, which hundreds of interviews, and had a lot of like mediums and spiritual people, and which a lot of them to me were kind of scammy. I know, I just don't give away my faith to all that stuff, and if I don't like experience it for myself or talk to any of these entities, I have no idea if it's real or not, and I end up siding with being a skeptic. It's not that I think any less of those people, I just don't know. I'm just oblivious as it goes when you don't know anything about like talking to entities that you can't see. Well, there's also, the cool thing was he'd interview all kinds of people with varying bits of data. It's like stuff that could contradict other stuff. And there was a couple guys that came out who I ended up following them, but they went against all the others. Like, they did spiritual kind of stuff. This one guy did like removing of chakras. And this is what made him different, is he believed all the other spiritual, like new agey, is all scams, all like just a total hoax at best, I guess. A scam at worst, I guess. Kind of the same thing. You're like duped by either one. But he was like saying all this stuff is to use us and manipulate us. I'm just paraphrasing. And I kind of agree a lot, especially with my views on the Demiurge. Well, I've commented on his stuff, and he's like, you sound new agey and all this stuff, which I guess I can see that. I'm into spiritual stuff, but he does spiritual stuff too. And he does these, alright, so he talks about entity attachments. This is what I'm getting to. How these entities attach to us, or we allow them to attach to us through whatever medium of attachment, like say it be substances like weed or alcohol, of course, is probably the most known one. It's called spirits, and I've had plenty enough experiences with alcohol, mostly good, but some bad, where I did feel like I was kind of ravaged by a demon, so to speak. And this is like totally overdoing it. It doesn't happen on like 2 glasses of something. I mean, maybe for some people, but not for me. It was when times when I really overdid it. There's some kind of demonic thing that happens there, and you're just blacked out and you don't know, and you wake up feeling disgusting. And yeah, a lot of people know about that had experiences with it. So I'm like, that checks out, that there's it feels less like a school and more like a place that's kind of a scammy place. It's kind of a hell realm. It's the devil's playground. However, the bright side of that is we have the ability and the power to bring heaven here on earth, like little bits of heaven, which is awesome. These entity attachments, I have so many questions about that, because I call them archons, like the archons from the Demiurge. The Demiurge being the inception of this world and the lords of this realm. And as you can see how this realm is doing, the lords aren't, they're exploitive. They're taking advantage of our situation. And we do seem to get stuck in these little, like, perpetual loops that, like, drain our soul. Like, they feed on us. And that's why a lot of times after some addiction, you feel, like, used up. Like, there's Like, you're not really spirited anymore. You're just kind of curmudgeonly and grumpy all the time and depressed or anxious. So going back to these entity attachments, I mean, there's all kinds of ones. And Archon comes from archetype. So maybe there's Archons of music. Maybe there's good ones. Is everyone possessed with Archons? Or have Archon or entity attachments, if you will, as this guy puts it? Are there good ones? Is everyone have entity attachments and some are good and some are bad? Or is there just bad ones? Like, I have so many questions because we attach to so many things. And then there's all these like negative experiences, like jealousy and stuff that's endogenous, that seems like it comes from within. It's not induced from some type of substance. And I'm just pontificating. I'm just thinking out loud here. For myself and anyone else that's interested, this isn't very interesting to most people. This is, I've actually seen these kind of topics be annoying to some people, and they're just like, but why? Like, they just don't understand the interest in it. Like there's no point for them. And yeah, it's very interesting. Sorry, I'm in a construction zone, so I'm just pausing for a moment to really pay attention to my driving. But yeah, these entity attachments, I wouldn't be surprised, like, that would check out. That would really check out. And I just have lots of questions about it. Like, some of it could be people who are trapped here. I really wouldn't be surprised if reincarnation exists and they just like recycle, like this concept has been around, that they recycle souls and that this is kind of a soul trap place. I know it's kind of a dark like thought to have, but it would also check out. There are some people having a smooth life, but there's a lot of people struggling, and they would choose it differently if they could. Because it takes a lot of hard work here, like, to be successful and have a good win. But it also takes a certain amount of luck, because only a small fraction of people will, like, really get that like ultra positive experience in life where they have it, like a huge successful win in life. And they talk about before their win and how they were like struggling and like didn't think they'd make it, and then the win happened and it changed their life. Like, this is a like success of their career is what I mean by a win. And a lot of us don't have that, so we're just struggling trying to make the most of this bleak situation and still bring heaven on earth. Like, you still have to value like the good that you put forth here, because it is meaningful and it is noticed, even though a lot of people don't appreciate and marvel at the resiliency that we have here. And I like to marvel in that. I like to appreciate what there is to be appreciated here. So I'd be curious to hear anyone's thoughts on entity attachments. It's definitely not a new concept. I'm just talking about the concept that already exists. And if, like, there's definitely, in my opinion, there's beings out there that help us along our journeys. Whether they're good or bad, they do at least elevate us to get past certain things and move on before the next thing falls through. And then it's almost as if they create a problem secretly, and then they bring a solution. Like, they are a masquerade as beings that care and are like the motherly, like the mother hen, often like our government does, where it takes advantage of a lot of people and taxes and exploitation and stuff. But they're like, oh, wear a seatbelt, and we have all these laws to protect you and keep you safe. But really, this society, it doesn't include everyone. It just includes those that play this game. And anyone that doesn't play this game is an outcast, a homeless person, an addict, someone that's struggling and there's no place to help them recover, or there are, but they're expensive and unrealistic. And it's just how things perpetuate here. Like, the negative cycle perpetuates, and there's an illusion of that happening here. Like, whether it's real or not, there's at least the illusion of it. And for those of us that are seeking, like, you do go to new perceptions that you haven't before. So I'm sure in years from now, I'll have a different viewpoint on these things. As a lot of people who are seekers and don't hold tenaciously or dogmatically to any ideology, they just are trying to observe what's happening here internally and externally, and try to decipher, like, what is it that's happening, that's going on here. Because a big detriment is we don't even have memory of any of our origins, or how we got here, or what we're doing here, which leaves us naive with all this ambiguity and frustration and confusion. And I think there's other worlds out there where we're not blocked from all that, so we can have perspective and orient ourselves in this world in a healthier way, and take on these challenges to have our heart in it. Because when people lose heart, like I've talked about in other videos, you're not really engaged enough to, like, put forth your best, because, like, something broke inside you. This is for a lot of people. I'm not saying you, I'm just saying for a lot of us. I mean, so when I say you, I mean us, you know. So, I'm already at 12 and a half minutes. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't get a whole lot of comments on my channel. I guess it's more of, at this point, just a archive of my thoughts for myself. And on YouTube, you don't even, like, know how many of your views are real and how much are just, like, maybe bots just studying us. You know, who knows? I don't want to get too conspiratorial with it, but gotta take everything into consideration here.